Let's take a look at Leetcode number 3, longest substring without repeating characters. So in this problem, given a string of characters, let's say ABC, ABCD. So in this example, the longest substring without repeating characters is ABCD. Note the difference between a substring and a subsequence, where a substring is a consecutive sequence of characters, whereas the subsequence just have to respect the ordering such as A, B, C, C, D. So to approach this problem, we use two pointers that points to different indexes in this string. The two pointers essentially forms a sliding window that iterates through the string. One pointer points to the left of the sliding window, and another pointer points to the right of the sliding window. And at the very beginning, the left and the right pointers point to the beginning of the string. And since our goal is to find a substring without any repeating characters, we need to be able to track the characters that we have seen before. To do so, we can consider using a hash set. In this case, we know that a character is of 8 bits. We can simply use a vector or an array of size 256 to keep track of the characters we have seen before. So let's walk through with a different example. At the very beginning, we have the left and the right pointer point to the beginning of the string. And while keep iterating through the string, we keep track of the characters we have seen in the vector below. And note that the vector is actually a size of 256, but to simplify it, we just show part of it. At index 0, let's say the position of the character is here, and we store the index of the character in the string into the vector, which is 0. As we keep moving the right pointer forward, we keep updating the indexes of the characters we have seen into the vector below. When we add index 4, we find out that the character D has been seen before. And what we do here is that we update the left pointer to be the index of the character D in the vector and +1. And once we updated the left pointer, we have to basically discard all the seen characters between the current left pointer and the previous left pointer by cleaning out the index values in the vector below. And now we are at the position 4, and we just keep repeating the steps by keeping track of the index values of the characters. And every time when we either forward the left pointer or the right pointer, we have to keep track of the current max length of the substring, which is the max between the max length and the current length of the sliding window, which is the right index minus the left index +1. Now let's see how it is being implemented in code. So here we have this function that takes in the input of a string, and initially the max length is 0. And here we have this vector size of 256, which is used to store the index values of the characters we have seen. And it's been initialized to -1 as the smallest index value is 0. And we define our left pointer to be 0. I is the right pointer, which is used to iterate through the string. And here we check if this character has been seen before. If we have seen this character before, we update the left pointer to move past the position of the previous seen character, so that the sliding window will not include duplicated characters. And here is the important step that we discard all the seen characters between the previous left pointer and the current next pointer. This step is to make sure that all the element inside the sliding window is reflected in the vector. We keep updating the index value of the character into the vector and maintain the maximum length of the sliding window. To summarize, we used two pointers that forms a sliding window to maintain a substring without repeated characters. And we used a vector size of 256 to keep track of the indexes of the characters that have been seen. And while we're sliding this window, by updating the left or the right pointers, we make sure that the characters inside the sliding window are in sync with the vector. And eventually we return the maximum length of the sliding window during this process.